Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome to another Smite commentary. And first off, sorry for not uploading for a couple of days now. I've been very busy writing my final report for my internship. That has been finished, that is completed, so I'm very glad that all went well. That means that I'll have probably a little bit less stress or pressure, but also will be able to just, well, most likely make a video every single day now. I'll try. Still can't guarantee it since my internship isn't over yet. We'll still have to do a presentation in about roughly 1 week, a little bit more. And my internship lasts until the end of June. So until then I'll definitely have less time. But yeah, I'll be able to do enough, I feel like. Anyway, we are going to play some Agni for today in the Joust. We have a pretty powerful combination, if I say so myself. I feel like they don't have the best follow-up on an Ares ultimate, so I'm not even too worried right now. Let's see if we can hit the soul, and we can go for the aggression. She took a lot of damage, and she will die to my Path of Flames. We all take a good amount of damage, but we got first blood, and nobody on our side died. So definitely very good for us. Nice. Can we get another one? No, unfortunately, just barely out of range. But such a powerful combination. We have a good amount of CCs as well. I mean, Bacchus Belly Flop, Bacchus Burp. My stun with my 1. I can't even reach him. And, of course, the Medusa ultimate, if they look. That is. Let's use Path of Flame to do a little bit of damage there. And I can just grab this. I don't really have that many of mana issues since I do have the Sands of Time, which is a pretty good item to have. Agni is probably one of the gods that needs it just for the early game. Because a lot of his ability, well, his ultimate doesn't cost any mana at all. So that will kind of put him... Oh, let's see if we can... Oh, that was a lot of damage. And he will fall down. Archiminions OP. Nice. So far so good. But yeah, we have a lot of good AoE attacks, I feel like. They don't really have that many. The Soul 2 probably the best they have. The other ones is mostly single target. But it doesn't mean that they have nothing against us. Because single target gods usually are a little bit quicker at destroying someone if they focus the right target. Which you probably noticed in the first fight once we got the first blood. They were all kinda focusing someone else. And all of us were a little bit below 50% HP. So if they just focus someone down, they get rid of them very quickly, get rid of their damage as well. And that way just make sure that they don't take as much. Anyway, I'm just going to head back now. Kamzats, don't stop my back. Rude. Oh, yeah, that's dumb. As I fired that ultimate, I knew he would jump that. He jumped the stun as well. That kind of sucks. That's my bad. That's what I get for lazy backing, I guess. But come on, man. I figured I would be able to dodge it too, but since I didn't have boots yet, I wasn't fast enough to dodge it too. So I took that to the face, a lot of damage, and well, with that slow, it's just a little bit too much. That's fine though. I mean, he was still ahead by a lot. We're already 1500 ahead in just 3 minutes. We don't have the tower yet, but once we get the tower, I feel like the Bull Demon King is a very quick option. Looks like Medusa is able to avoid the Soul ultimate. If that caught her dash, then she might have been in a big trouble. But it doesn't look like that's the case. But yeah, I'm going for the start I like to go for... Well, actually there are 2 starts. Oh, that's a Kamzat. There are actually 2 starts I like to go for with Agni. Kind of depends on what I... Well, kind of what I want. One start I go for is the Sands of Time into the boots. Boots rank 1. And Chalice plus some mana potions. The other start is Chalice, or Sands of Time, I mean, with Tiny Trinket, the first tier of Bancroft's Talon. That way you'll have a little bit more power, a little bit of lifesteal. Doesn't matter too much though. Kind of depends on what you're looking... Nice. Got him. So yeah, depends a little bit on what you want. If you go for the boots, I usually finish my boost first. I did now as well. Finishing the boots is in general a little bit better, especially against this comp, because you can just dodge their abilities a lot better. Nice pickup. Yeah, and after the boots, if you went for the tiny trick and you're better off going for the Bancrofts. But I like to get the Spear of the Magus lately. Spear of the Magus is such a powerful item, since you can get so much of their defense, or yeah, you can destroy so much of their defense with that single item as Agni. Your 1 triggers it, your passive triggers it, your Path of Flames triggers it multiple times, your 2 and your ultimate all trigger it, so you can get that up very, very quickly. I mean, it already would have been three ticks completed, and especially against something like the Ares, that can be very powerful. Come on. Oh, look at his HP. I think a health potion saved him there. My 1 would have dealt a little bit of damage, so I figured the 1 with the bleed from my passive would have finished him off, since I didn't have anything else up. But it was just not enough. Probably should have just left him be and avoided the soul completely, but yeah, it's fine. I went for the Bancrofts. I feel like the damage they do is... Well, for the damage they do, it's a little bit better to have some lifesteal, because I get a lot of healing out of it if I play the Agni, which is pretty good. Don't underestimate lifesteal on Agni, or actually on any mage. Bancrofts is a very powerful lifesteal item. If I'm below 30 or below 25% HP, I have 40% lifesteal. And even though I only get 33% of that lifesteal as healing because of my AoE abilities, it's still a lot of healing if you heal on an entire wave, or if you just hit a couple of well, damaging abilities on your opponents. It's definitely not a bad form of lifesteal. Some gods fare with it very, very well. Sol, Freya, and Kronos mostly, because they have that basic attack. Basic attacks just in general are way better. Rest in pieces, Bacchus. You will be missed. They did use 2 ultimates there. Oh, we can definitely pick up. No, no. You probably thought the Camisards would chase, but the Camisards actually gave up his chase, so that kind of was a wasted ultimate by the Medusa. Not sure why she used it though, because I had my... Well, she probably didn't know I had my abilities up, but I had my abilities up to make sure that I got that stun if he was around the corner, but since he wasn't, it wasn't even necessary. Let's grab this wave quickly, head back, get my Spear of the Magus. It will not only help me a lot though, it will also help out the Bacchus immensely, since Bacchus also gets a lot out of penetration. And it's also 15 flat penetration, which is never a bad thing. But yeah, there are 2, like I mentioned, 2 builds. Boots into Spear of the Magus, into Bancrofts. That's the start I do, or boots into Bancrofts, into Spear of the Magus. I feel like you have more damage with Spear of the Magus, but you have a good amount of sustain if you go for Bancrofts, so it kind of depends on what you're looking for. But I feel like those items are just core on Agni. He gets so much out of it. You can go for a Warlock Sash. I'm in general not too fond of the stacking builds, and that's just because I, well, most of the time... Ooh, look at that damage. Most of the time you don't really have the time to build it. Ooh, that was nice damage. Very close to dying there. But yeah, you don't really have the time that often to stack it completely. And if you go for the stacking item, then it will take you, well, it will cost you a lot more effort to do damage, and I like to do damage. You know how I like to play. I like to completely obliterate the opponents. They actually went for a Hardware, which against us is definitely a good choice. But since I picked up Spear, I will completely deny or get rid of the protections they get from the Spear of the Magus. It will help with the initial hits though, since my ultimate is most likely, or my 2, most likely the way I'll stun them. The 1 will hit first though, if you go for the ult stun. And if you go for the 2-1 combo for the stun, then your 2 will be reduced by a considerable amount because of the Hardware. But I don't think it's really that much of an issue. Let's stack this passive up. I don't really need to clear the wave, so I'll have my passive to fight them, which is pretty good. Bacchus has returned. Nice. Belly flop. Okay, that was a very bad stun on my part. Not stunning at all. Was a little bit too late. The ultimate already hit, which... Okay, pretty bad, not gonna lie. It's not something you'll usually miss. The 2-1 combo is... Oh, nice 3 by the soul. Didn't even realize you used it. But, yeah, sometimes I feel like the 2-1 combo is even easier because the waves stay that close. The only downside to it is if you use your one nearby. So if you use your 2 and hit someone that's literally next to you, like an assassin or a warrior, then it's a little bit more difficult to hit your 1 because you need to aim it properly. Able to avoid souls, but just barely. I didn't get chained. I was kind of lucky that I wasn't the only one pulled. If I was pulled as well, then I would have died because my dash would have been denied. And I would have taken that soul completely. Good amount of damage. Hitting the dash, the stun will hit. The 2 did an immense amount of damage. 488, immediately erasing the soul. Rest in pieces. My ultimate won't reach, but the Bacchus can definitely reach with his ultimate. That was insane. 488 on my 2. I don't even have that much finished yet. I mean, I didn't have my full HP, so I got a decent amount from Bancrofts, but because I went for the dash first into the stun, I got so much, I got rid completely of her magical protection, and that way that 2 did true damage, which is insane. Now with Rod of Tutti, now they have no chance at all to win this anymore. I feel like we can just get to this Bull Demon if we want to. I can zone, I can completely destroy them. I have all my ultimates, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. And as you can see, we cleared very, very quickly. They will be able to push up the wave a little bit, but it doesn't really matter if we can pick them all up here. Let's avoid soul basics for a little bit. I have to just juke them out. Waiting for my stun. Well, that one was very useful on my part. You will be missed, Medusa. Let's see if we can get soul. Decent damage. Not sure where the Camazotz is. I don't really want to go too far. I can just lifesteal up a little bit as well. He missed his 2, so he's definitely going to die here, even though I miss all my abilities. Like I mentioned, now I have Rod of Tutti, now it's finished. I mean, I can kind of get away with it now that I miss my abilities. Since I do so much damage with all of them, except for my 1 of course. Unless they stand in it for the entire duration. Just... Agni is... I don't know, Agni is a very strong god, but he's one of those gods that often doesn't even get played that much because he's just such an old god. They haven't really changed him in any way. He's pretty good though, not gonna lie. Look at that damage. 570. That's insane. I have a good amount of power as well. Although I think we can end if we get the Camazotz. Yeah, he's dead. I think we can end. Ares is the only one left to try and defend this. I don't really want to tank the Titan for too long though, since I'll just get destroyed. I don't think he can defend it, to be honest. But it is pretty annoying for us to tank the Titan. He can't really clear the wave though, but Sol has returned. I guess we could have committed, but yeah, I have a lot of gold. Why not just back? That's complete. Oh, never mind. Medusa got it, so I guess that's completely fine. I'm not sure if she has haste in it, so she probably could have gone just run around them and just straight up kill them very, very quickly. I don't know. Yeah, pretty powerful gods for the 3v3 Joust map. Agni, Medusa and Bacchus are all very powerful. Good ults, a lot of damage. 18k damage in such a short amount of time. You can see Agni doing a lot of work in this game mode. Because you get so much gold in this game mode compared to levels. Once you're behind, it's very difficult to get back into it because you will get destroyed. I mean, my ultimates do about 500 HP, which is more than half their HP at level 10. Which makes it very, very difficult for them. Well, maybe not more than half, but it's still a lot of damage for an ability that's very difficult to miss. Especially if I can combine it with a stun from me, from Bacchus, or maybe even from the Medusa. Just, Agni is so much fun. Agni, I really like to play Agni, but sometimes I feel like he's a little bit too easy. If you know what I mean. I feel like that if you get the 4 items I have gotten as my first items, you're pretty much set. You do so much damage then. Unless, of course, you're like 0 in 10 when you finally have that completed. Then you'll probably have a rough time. But I feel like with a build like this, usually I would recommend going Sans, Boots, and then for the Spear. It's probably a little bit better if you really want to deal damage. But for the sustain, like I mentioned, Sans, Boots into Bancrofts is just... You can't go wrong with that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have a request, please let me know down in the comments. I have one request. I'll have to see when I'm able to do that one though. It is a quite difficult one if I'm not mistaken. Full lifesteal Erlang Shen. Yeah, the game needs to last very long if you want to complete that. But we'll have to see. I'll definitely give it my best shot. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.